What's up YouTube? It's your boy JD and we're back with another Crafter Tech video. Today we got the update order manipulation dispenser crafter. Let's take a look at the build. So this is my update order manipulation dispenser crafter, and it's got some fancy little tricks that it uses to make dispensers really fast. As you can see, it's working here just fine. I've tested this thing extensively. As long as you do exactly as I've shown in this video, you'll have no problems with this thing. Got a little lever. It can make one at a time. As you can see just right there. We have a dimensions of 9 by 8 by 9 by 3. So it's absolutely tiny. It's very similar wiring to my other dispenser crafter, the unbuffered one. If you want, you need to go and get Mad Hatter's Bedrock Edition resource pack and place some rockets in your offhand and locate a chunk border. Build this thing on the edge of a chunk border as shown. It's very important that you build this on the edge of a chunk border. If this redstone dropper is not or is in the same chunk, the machine will not function. Very important. If you do not build this on a chunk border, it will not function. It will break. It will not make dispensers at all. So make sure you're doing this on a chunk border. Make sure that you have the resource pack and know that you're on a chunk border. Otherwise, you're going to have big problems. So once you have this thing built on a chunk border, you can go ahead and we're going to load it up with the things that it needs. I'm going to show what that is. Okay. Sticks, redstone, bows, green. Okay. The redstone will go in here. Cobble, cobble, a bow, and then on these two, let me make sure I show stick and string. So you want to set it up like this, and in the main crafter you're going to set the recipe for the dispenser. This is the recipe shown. And in the bow crafter you're going to set the recipe for a bow. These are pre-filled, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and break all these temporary signs. Oh no! I did not mean to break that. And now I have to reload it. That's a pain in the butt. That's a pain in the butt. Let me get these sticks. Stick, 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 stick. Put the sticks back in there. Alright. Now we can get rid of the sticks in our inventory. Don't need those anymore. Careful not to break. Okay. So we got our machine layout set. We're on a chunk border. We've loaded all the ingredients in there. Let's get started with building. This is what you're going to need in your hotbar. You're going to need glass. You're going to need solid blocks. You're going to need observers. You're going to need dust, torch, and the trapdoors, and the target box. That's all you need for now. We're going to work on the bow crafter. Coming over to this side of the machine where the bow crafter is, we're going to come to the other side. We're going to place an observer, solid block, trapdoor. I place another observer looking at that trapdoor, a solid block, swing around to the back side and place a torch, place another trapdoor, flip that trapdoor down, then place an observer looking at it. Break that temporary observer. Place some glass blocks just like this as shown, and then place 2 target blocks on the undersides of these droppers. And now officially dust all of this. And if I remember correctly, that'll be our bow crafter all done. And remember, we want to have our machine loaded like this on the bow crafter. Loaded with the bow recipe, load one of these droppers with sticks, and the other one with string. All right, that's a burp. We're gonna move forward and we're gonna place, coming to the main crafter, we're gonna place an observer, solid block, then a trap door. We're gonna do another observer, solid block, trap door. Then we're gonna do 2 observers off that main observer, just like this. I'm gonna place a solid block right there. An observer looking at this trap door to get it to look. All right, now we're making some progress here. Let's build up our little glass staircase. We're gonna place a solid block on these 2 cobble droppers. That's what we should be looking at, a solid block right there. I'm gonna dust this, just like shown. And we're gonna swing over here. I always mess this part up. And we're gonna place observers, an observer just like that, okay? And now get a solid block right here. We're gonna need our wax copper bulb. We're gonna place 1 copper bulb right here, 2 observers looking at that, and then a solid block. The main wiring is basically done at this point. What we need to do is go on and place some pistons. So we're going to come up by how many blocks? I think it's this many blocks. Grab our sticky piston. Sticky piston needs to grab this block. Yeah. Alright. Place 2 sticky pistons like that. Break all these temporary blocks. And then we're going to get a block in the center of here. Place a lever on it. This is our main on and off. Pull those blocks up. Get a glass block right there. And an observer looking at where that glass block is going to go. We can place a final piece of dust right there. Then we should be done here. We're all the way together. We can actually turn the machine on and see that it's going to craft dispensers. Make sure that I've got everything loaded and wired correctly. Look at this. Alright, let's do a test. Alright, it seems to be working perfectly. Now we can finish up with our main wiring. We need an observer looking up, a solid block, and then that should give us our single craft button. Next up, we need another observer looking here, solid block, then a glass block, and some dust right there. We can go ahead and get our final droppers because we can't directly look at the main crafter with the output hooked up. And then we should have something looking like this. Now we're going to place a whole bunch of hoppers. Let's do hoppers in the top of all these droppers. Swinging over here to this side, we're going to do the double speed on that one, the double speed on this one, double speed on these. Alright, we're all done. We can place some chests, our string, sticks, cobblestone, and redstone. And this one is our output. Now we just place some glass blocks. Break that temporary block. Break that temporary block. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're all done. Get some dispensers going. Dispensers! That's all we got time for, boys and girls. Thanks for checking out the video. The tutorial is pretty cool. We're getting dispensers. This is the update order dispenser crafter. It's your boy JD. Thanks for tuning in.